Hello and welcome. This is episode 1 of a series that's going to tell the tale of a major kitchen renovation by a couple of guys who really don't know anything about this. It's a new adventure for us. If you are considering a major renovation to your house, then maybe you'll learn a thing or two by seeing what we went through when we were doing it, right? So let's get started. The house. Well, first in this video, I'm going to show what we have right now, okay, in terms of our kitchen. It's a major part of our main floor, right? And then I'm going to explain like what the new space is going to look like. And talk a little bit about appliances too. Okay, so this is a really old house that we have. I think it's 1912 or something like that. Yeah, I think it might be even like 1912. We have these like antique grates, like heat registers. Right there's one right there. The builders that we've hired to do this job, he came by, he took that thing off. He found an etching inside that said 1911. So anyway, it's a really old house. We bought it a few days before we got married in the backyard. People are quite often say they're enamored of it. We were so enamored of it that we bought it the same day we toured it. We had to really fight to get this house. It's a sought after commodity. This little front room here has come in very handy during the pandemic. I used it as my home office and I was working from home. It really helped to have a space just for that purpose. Yeah, so a lot of, well, these are original wood floors, we're told, so the planks would be well over 100 years old too. Nice built-in cabinetry there. We assume they must have been bookcases originally, not too sure. That is lighting above there as well. But yeah, lots of like dark natural wood throughout this house. And that's a gas fireplace that does work. This window's got to be really old. It's hard to see through the glare, but there's like grill inside there. These windows, they're all going to have to be replaced fairly soon. Like these front windows we have, so old that the glass is starting to warp. I'm told that's an indication of age. But anyway, we have a nice enclosed front porch. People often love that with some masonry, right? The front porch doesn't actually get a lot of use, but it's just such a nice look. I always wanted a nice front porch. Anyway, as I was saying, lots of nice dark wood throughout this house. And that featured heavily in our decision about like what color scheme to go for in the new kitchen, which I'm going to get to eventually. I hope I'm not making a mistake with the choice I made. Right, so dining room here. Look, this space, well, it's currently a mess right now because new appliances have arrived and we're not yet ready to put them in. But anyway, this dining room, I find that I don't use it very much because it's a separate room from the kitchen. And I don't know, I find it's like wasted space. And it's a fairly small house in the first place. So part of what we had in mind was to make the space more well used. And so the way we're going to do that is that this wall here is going to go. We're going to get to that in a minute. But anyway, we bought this dining room table from the lady that we bought the house from. It's not a bad piece. I don't think it's designed very well, but it's certainly good looking. The chairs are really creaky and horrible and uncomfortable. Getting a new set. Actually, it's a Christmas present for my husband that we're sort of treating ourselves to. A nice set of 4 upholstered chairs. We're going to be selling these ones to recoup some of our costs. This piece right here, I think you'd call this a buffet. That's going to have to go too. It's a really nice piece. I like it, but there's just going to be no space for it in the new kitchen because we're getting some base cabinets put in this room that are firstly going to just not make it necessary to have that thing, but secondly, there won't be the space. That hutch over here, we're also going to be selling this to recoup some costs. There'll be no space for it, no need. Nice big window right here. It's huge. We really like it. And, well, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but with this wall being gone, and with the new kitchen, now, nice big window right there. Nice big window right there. The whole space is going to be so like airy and just open. It's going to be really nice. And the fact that it's already so well lit, and it's going to be even more well lit, that got me thinking that maybe I was making a mistake. Maybe I'm making a mistake by not going with like with dark cabinetry because it would fit in with what the rest of the house has. And I really wrestled with that for a long time. I'm still not so sure I'm making the right choice, but it's a done deal. They've started building it. In the end, I thought go for a light color scheme because you're not gonna. It can't match the rest of the house. There's gonna be some difference between it, and that could clash. And so why not just go with it? Like if I can't match color, then just go for something distinctly different. Go for a light color scheme. So that's what we're doing. All right, but this is the kitchen as it now stands. So, well, I'm going to start with the beginning. So we have, look, when I first toured this house, this closet right here, right? So you go from the dining room, this doorway here, right? And then we got this closet. And then over here, 2 bedrooms, a bathroom. Over here, the kitchen. So I thought, oh, that closet's so cute. You can put stuff in there. And I thought that was great. And I now hate it. Well, before I get ahead of myself, that's a chimney behind there. Floor to ceiling from the basement. That has to stay. I'm going to remove the plaster around it. See how good the masonry, like how good shape the masonry's in. Maybe we'll be able to have exposed masonry in our new kitchen. I don't know. We'll see. If not, just drywall. But anyway, as I was saying, now I hate that closet because this is actually a rather small kitchen in here. And it's even smaller to make space for that closet. Okay? And so what we're doing, therefore, is we are getting rid of this wall right here. Okay? So this doorway is going to be completely gone. And that's going to, in effect, expand the footprint and thus the size of the kitchen. So I'll get to that in a few minutes. But for the moment, that's what we have is this closet right here. Now, then, currently we have the fridge over here. We bought this house, the lady we bought it from, she had the range, this range right here. She had that at the edge of the, I think she had that at the edge of, no, wait, I'm mistaken. She had a wooden buffet piece right there. She had the fridge housed in, like where we currently have the microwave and the range. And then she had the range right next to that. And so we decided it made more sense to have the fridge here, range there. Now you can have like an over-the-counter range or microwave, but because of this cabinetry, you got this wall here, so you can't, when you're cooking, you can't go easily back and forth. It's a pain in the ass. Oh, you have this diagonal counter right here. And why do we have a diagonal counter? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the space is so tight, so awkward, that if it just went straight out like this, you wouldn't be able to walk into the kitchen. Okay? So it's just not well designed. Anyway, this cabinetry, God knows how old it is. I don't even know what it's made out of. This sink, I'm told, is actually a fairly sought-after commodity. I think it's called fire clay. A lot of people like it. We hate it. Actually, what I hate I might even be tempted to have kept it, but this divider drives me nuts. It's not big enough to put a decent-sized pan in to clean. It's always like I have to stick up and it can't get the handle in. So that sink's going to be replaced with what's called an apron front sink. It's going to go right out to the edge of the counter top. It's going to be white fire clay. Going to keep that faucet there. I don't mind that. That is one of the many upgrades that we've made. Okay. So, what else do we got? Well, I got this extra window over here. That's going to have to come out as part of the remodel. So that probably brings us to, yeah. So let's talk about now, like, what the renovation of the kitchen is going to look like, okay? Right. Well, as I mentioned, this wall is coming out. So by doing that, we expand the size of the footprint. We're going to build, so this corner over here, this is going to be a major cooking center, is this. Okay, quick sidetrack. Okay, I got to mention about this over-the-counter microwave. It's awful. It yells and screams every time it's done a cooking cycle. An alarm goes off for about 5 seconds every minute on the minute, forever, until the world ends. There's no silencing feature. It's totally obnoxious. I pity the fool that buys this thing from me. I might take a hammer to it, actually. Just for the satisfaction of destroying it. Anyway, back to where I was at then. So this is going to be like the major cooking center. So you got to picture this wall here gone. We're going to build all the way into there. We're going to have, so there's high ceilings in this house. So we're going to have crown molding, the juncture, then a little bit of like a spacer, I think they call it. It looks like drywall. And then cabinetry built right in. So I insisted on not having like you're seeing here, like a gap between the top of cabinet and the ceiling. I insisted on not having that. Just collects dust and it's a pain in the ass. So that's not going to be featured in the new design. It's just going to be crown molding, spacer, cabinetry all the way down, upper cabinet and base cabinet. It's custom cabinetry, MDF. We're going for a really light beige, I would call it, with a fairly consistently white quartz countertop. Okay, so small column of cabinetry there. Then the range. Now, picture a range reoriented. It won't be facing this way, but it'll still be facing this way. Okay, so you'll approach it like this. All right. So then, yeah, so like I said, cabinetry, range, cabinetry, far corner where the chimney is. That has to stay one way or the other, with either through drywall or just have the masonry showing. And then small cooking center here. More cabinet, like upper cabinetry, and then counter, and then base cabinet. So that'll be a nice space to prepare stuff. Now over here, we're going to keep this, all the base cabinetry is coming out, and all the counters and all the upper cabinetry too. But in its place, we're going to have more base cabinet. So, well, no diagonal edge. There won't be a need for that. All the way through here, and then countertop here. Now, the window, there's sort of like an awkward amount of space here between the countertop and the windowsill. So I asked the builder, he said you could do this fairly easily. We're gonna have about 4 inches. So you're gonna have about this much space between the edge of the opening of the window and the counter. Still fairly large window, but I think more aesthetically pleasing. No trim either. We've currently got like good quality trim there, but it's dark grain wood. I mean, that's just not going to fit in with the aesthetic that like the color scheme that we're going for. So that's going to have to change. So it's just going to be drywall right up to the edge of the opening for the window. And then the windows, the type of windows that we're going to have, they won't slide left to right like these ones currently on there, but instead up and down. I think they call these single hung windows. Now for over here, well, what we currently have is like sort of like a pantry going down to our basement. Well, just like against the wall there. Well, I don't know if we'll keep these shelves here, but we won't need to, because instead this little space between the fridge and this window, well, it's just barely enough space to have a closet big enough to fit a vacuum and a broom in it. So we're going to have roughly half of this space divided into a closet, the other half pantry with shelves that, come out. So floor to ceiling shelves, and also cabinetry around the top of the fridge. So this is going to be contiguous with the ceiling. It won't be open to collect dust. It'll look like, kind of like just built-in cabinets. Okay. And then, as I was saying, this whole wall gone. So now coming over to the dining room, as I was mentioning before, we're going to have some base cabinets put in here. They're going to go over in this corner here, okay, where I currently have these large gourds that I grew. Anyway, yeah, some open cabinetry and then some closed cabinetry. Just a stack of the open, a stack of the closed, and then the rest of it's going to be just open, like underneath the counter, so that you can sit there. All this space will be counter, okay, with the quartz, but it's going to go through this wall. I'm going to be building into the dining room a little bit. So that's going to be a nice, large, open countertop. Again, to prepare food at, but also like big enough, I think more than big enough for 2 people to sit and enjoy a meal as well. So, just a quick note before I close. New appliances, which I'm completely excited about. So we're ordering stainless steel. The range that we currently have, I'm either giving that away to a friend or I'm selling it, as well as the microwave if I don't actually destroy it myself, just for revenge on it. But yeah, the range I'm very excited about. Now, I mean, I almost would have spared no expense to get a double wall oven, but it just did not make space. There was in fact basically no way to make a double wall oven work given the space that we had, given what we wanted out of a kitchen and the space that we had. There's really no way to make that work. It just had to be a slide-in range. So if it had to be a slide-in range, I was committed to getting it a double range. It's double of a type. Use this handle, well, this lever on the handle, to either use the upper half on its own or the whole thing, if you don't like need all the space. The upper half is also an air fryer. So that's a nice sliding range. It's electric. It's not gas. I may regret that, but you had to draw the line somewhere. It's not even induction. My options were very limited for getting a range of that specific type, like a slide-in range that was double like that. Not too many options. That's a stainless steel dishwasher. We're really excited about having a dishwashing machine. That's going to change our lives. And then we have a low profile microwave. Now, contractors that we hired to do this work, they tried to convince us to do this, to get like one of this type. I was very skeptical of that. But the more I looked into it, the more it made sense. It's just very well designed. You really don't lose that much interior space. It's just a really efficient use of space. It's also like very discreet. It's definitely got a silencing option, but the bells and whistles, very, very discreet. It's a really well designed microwave. Saved money. We got our appliances through Costco. Now, sometimes, in fact, quite often I found, if you're just looking at sticker price, you find similar sticker prices as between Costco and, let's say, a big box store, especially one first initial H, last initial D. You'll quite often see sticker prices that are the same. Look in the fine print, because buy from a box store, you'll have to pay for delivery. The delivery will be on top. Not so for Costco. Now, for Costco, of course, you need to pay for a membership. And so there's a cost to that. But I did the arithmetic, and it more than worked to my favor. In fact, I even got the executive membership because then I get cash back. And I'm buying, enough appliances that it really did make sense. But I also saved more money by shopping on Black Friday, and then by getting the dishwashing machine and the range from the same manufacturers. You can see there's Samsung. Got an additional discount for that. Right. So this dining room that I'm now in, this is going to be a complete disaster for at least the next month. We're going to have to, there's going to be like a plastic sheeting coming down, and we're going to have to store a whole bunch of things in here. I'm told we're going to not have a sink for at least 3 weeks. God knows what we're going to do. So cooking might be completely out during. Yeah. So life's going to be life's going to be fairly difficult for a while, but we just got to get through it. One other thing I'll mention is that I've actually told the builders. So for clarity, we've hired good quality builders. We didn't, and contractors, I suppose, specifically is what I mean. We didn't go for the lowest bidder. We decided we would hire what is effectively the best contractor in this small town. And that way, all of the surprises, especially of a financial nature, that are yet to come, they'll all be good surprises. Like, he's completely front-loaded all the costs. He's giving me a worst-case scenario. The budget just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And so much so that actually I was planning to start this a year ago in winter of January of 2020. And then I told him, come back in a year. We need to save more money, right? But from here on out, I'm expecting no bad surprises and maybe some good surprises cost-wise. And then of course, so this contractor, he's hired some subcontractors, like the electrical. So it'll be like a subcontractor, but it's through him, as well as the plumbing, right? But having said that, I still did tell him that I wanted to do some demolition myself. At least I want to give it a try. Now, I have no expertise in this. I'm just a kinesiologist. I have no experience. And this is all lath and plaster. So I'm told that being lath and plaster, that's going to make it especially tedious, especially hard work, and the air quality is going to be horrible. So we'll see how much success I have with that. They're starting, so the first day the builders are coming here, I believe it's the 4th of January, but they're sending like a dumpster type thing, going to put in my backyard, and that's going to enable me to put garbage in it when I start to tear down, which I plan to start either the 29th or the 30th, do a little bit of work on those days, and then maybe some work on the 31st as well. So yeah, that's going to be quite an experience. Well, that just about covers it. So yeah, so this is episode 1. Episode 2 is, well, I guess I'll film that when we start to actually tear stuff down. So wish me luck. I hope that goes well. And then, yeah, later in the series, I'll show you the final result, and I'll go into a little bit of how the finances worked out, like what the ultimate cost was. You know, we're spending many tens of thousands of dollars here. It's the most expensive thing we will have ever bought, other than the house itself. And so I found it not that difficult to go online and find resources, how to hire a contractor, what things should cost, etc. I didn't find it that difficult, but I didn't find a great resource either. So in this series, I'm going to go into a fair amount of detail on how much we paid for things, how much they cost to us anyway, and hopefully find that informative. I believe in, being open about that. I just wish that people were more open about the cost of things, about their finances, about how this all works. Let's not keep it in the dark. Let's talk about, this stuff, and let's learn from each other, right? But anyway, that's about it for now. So I'll see you back later. Thanks.